When law enforcement respond to a public call, it's already a high-stress situation, and this is especially true if civilians are present. If you find yourself in this type of situation, the decisions that you make and the actions that you take will either increase that stress and ultimately the risk to you, or increase your safety. Hi everyone, this is Chris with Staying Safe. Welcome to the Lessons Learned series. This video is of an officer-involved shooting from Everett, Massachusetts. The incident all started when someone phoned in a complaint about a man harassing people on the corner with a knife in his pocket. When the law enforcement officer arrives on scene, he gets out of his vehicle and he begins to approach the man. The man pulls out a knife. Now let's take a look and see how this plays out. So this is the man who the complaint was called against. The law enforcement officer is going to come from this direction, from the left over here in front of the building. And let's take a look and see how this plays out. So first, I want to say that the officer does a really good job of creating space and using his firearm to stop the threat. However, as with anything, there's always some aspect that we're able to improve upon. With that being said, this video isn't about the officer's actions. I want to focus on the civilians around here in the video and their actions. If you are interested in my analysis of the officer's actions, my next newsletter is going to have a breakdown of that. I really like this video because it presents us with three types of actions that we could take, or options that we could take, if we were presented with this type of situation. So I want to start off with the best reaction out of all three. So I want you to pay attention to this Suburban right here. So we're going to play this. If you notice, his blinker's on, and he wants to turn left up here. So here's our police officer and the guy. He sees something going on here. He's paying attention, and in a second you're going to see his wheels turn. As this situation's escalating, this guy makes a decision: I need to leave. So what I want to point out is, one, this guy's paying attention to what's going on around him. He has a baseline. He recognizes the anomaly of the police officer coming to the situation, responding, and then he recognizes the situation unfolding as something he doesn't want to be a part of. He's looking at the officer interrupt with this guy and draw his weapon. So he makes a decision, he needs to leave, and then he actually leaves. So ideally, this is the person you want to be. Observant, analyzing what's going on, making a decision, and then actually acting on that decision. I'd also like to point out the adaptability here. This individual wanted to make a left turn, and instead they said, I don't care about the inconvenience, I care more about my safety. I'm out of here, I'm going to the right, and I'm leaving this area. That's the right mindset that you want, and that's where you want to be at. So the next option we're going to talk about is this couple over here. Let's rewind it and watch them come into the video. So you see, here's the guy again up here. You're going to see him come around this corner. You notice the guy sees him. He acknowledges that something's wrong here, but he keeps walking. He turns around to look, sees the police officer. They're walking slowly. The lady stops, trying to get a better view. You can see here in a second the lady's going to look a little upset. Her arms are going to cross, like she wants the guy to leave, but he's taking his time. Here's where it starts to escalate. Shots fired, and now they start to get really scared. So these people are walking this way, They're acknowledging that something's going on, but they want to stay and watch. They're not really concerned about their safety yet, not until the shots start being fired. Then they kind of jump and they get concerned, but they also move back in to get a better view still. So they're not really looking at their safety. So ideally, if this is you, you really want to move out of this way and get behind this building here. This is going to get you some cover and concealment. What you don't want to be is just standing around watching what's going on. You don't know what can happen. This officer, luckily or skillfully, all his rounds landed on target. I haven't read anything about him missing and hitting the building or any of the vehicles. So these people really put themselves in harm's way by not getting out of there, not going to get cover, not leaving the area. So you don't want to be there. If you can't leave, you want to seek cover. You don't want to hang around the situation. So let's rewind it and take a look at the last person we're going to look at here. It's going to be this woman coming down from this direction, just walking this way. You're going to see she's digging in her purse and pulling out her cell phone. And there's nothing wrong with digging through your purse or pulling out your cell phone to check something while you're out in public. And I mentioned this in my episode 2 of the quick tips about peripheral vision, is it's okay to do these things, but you can't be so engrossed in what you're doing, you're tuned out to your surroundings, like this woman is. She has no clue that this whole situation is unfolding up here. So I'll put a link to that video in the description. So you watch here, she still doesn't know what's going on. It's not until the officer fires his weapon that she jumps and starts to try and collect information of what's happening. Right there, see his shoulders come up, she starts to move backwards, and then she freezes. She doesn't know what to do. So for this, you don't want to be in a situation like this. You don't want to be that person. So paying attention, getting a baseline, recognizing anomalies, and then taking that information, creating a plan, and then executing that plan. If that plan isn't working, you need to go back to the drawing board, circle around, OODA loop, observe, take in more information, make another decision, change the plan. So I know that I said 3 options, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a bonus here. If you're in a situation where you're trapped between vehicles like this guy here or even this one here, and you can't do what the Suburban did and get out of there, you have a couple options. You can, 1, use your vehicle to move the other vehicles and then go out that way. If you have enough turnout space like it looks like there is here, you could back up a little bit, turn out, and try and maneuver with your vehicle to get out of there. Another option is completely abandon your vehicle, get out and move to some cover or concealment, or just leave the area if possible. You don't want to get stuck on staying in a spot because your vehicle's there, and it's not worth dying for. It's not worth somebody close to you dying for if you have kids in the vehicle or something like that. And the last option is to get down low and try and put as much of the vehicle in front of you between a threat and you as possible, like the engine block. Doors, windows, although the bullet can ricochet off the hood or the windshield, they will penetrate the doors or the windows, so you want to get down low between something that it won't penetrate, like the engine block. A handgun is not going to be able to penetrate that, and there's a lot of stuff inside that engine compartment that will stop the bullet. So to get down as low as possible is your best option if you can't actually abandon the vehicle or maneuver out of the position you're in. There are several lessons learned from this video. If safety is your priority and a situation like this is unfolding in front of you, your best option is always avoidance. If you can't avoid the situation by leaving the area, your next best option is to seek cover. And the last takeaway, which is the most important, is obviously situational awareness. Being aware of what's going on around you, getting a baseline, recognizing the anomalies, and when you do recognize those anomalies, gather the information that you need to create a plan and then act on that plan. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, please like, share, and subscribe. Remember, no one has more to lose when it comes to your safety than you do.